three special guests with us at the moment. Charlie, do you want to introduce them?
Yes. So we have Lieutenant Gocek Vince in the house.
This is Lieutenant Guvench reporting from Hamburg.
And then we have Commander Serena Smith.
What's up, Discord?
And then we have what Capcom, Mission Control Capcom, Sam Tannerat here.
Hello, everyone.
You might recognize her voice.
You may recognize her voice. She's the official voice of the Rocket Factory. And so we just wrapped up. We're getting ready for Saturday. We had a successful launch on Friday, 15 more rockets in orbit. And yeah, we're having a blast. We can't wait to see everyone here in Hamburg on the 18th.
And our flight director, Tom Sachs, is just wrapping up some details for the mission objective. We're hoping he's going to chime in here pretty soon. But in the meantime, me and Charlie and Maddie are going to hold it down. So drop a question in the radio chat or raise your hand. Would love to get some of our new mods up here too.
Are there any new mods in the house?
Hello. Can you all hear me? I see. Okay, here comes the mod.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, guys. What's up, everybody?
Capcom reporting in.
Yeah, we got Capcom in the building.
Get this conversation started, guys. So we've been totally deep into the space program this week and are really excited to cordially invite all of you to attend, if you can, on Saturday. And worked into the space program is going to be an extra special launch of 5 perfect NASA rockets. So let's get some questions started.
Emlo, get us going.
How's everyone doing over in space camp?
Wait, is that the Emlo?
It is the Emlo.
Wait, confirm identity.
EMLO SN number 101184 reporting live from just outside the Bear area, where rumor has it there will be rockets launched in just a matter of 60 days. So super excited to see what comes out of there. My question for everyone at Space Camp reporting live right now, with just days away, how's the team feeling, physically fit, nutrition, sleep? Can you walk us through a little bit what's happening over there?
Yeah.
All right. So we just got a question from the audience. How's everyone feeling going into Saturday? We got Serena here.
Feeling good, feeling prepped and ready, and just getting pumped up every day.
How's nutrition? How's space camp routine going for you two? Gocek, you've had to do a lot of excavation training, crawling into deep, dark places. How are you doing physically?
Physically, I am doing pretty well. I think the space program training helped a lot, and I feel ready. I'm ready for the mission.
All right.
Love to hear it. Good luck to everyone.
Emlo.
Space camp?
Yeah. For those who have not seen the movie Space Camp, it's a film that Tom made about the exercise regimen in the studio that we do to prepare for these in IRL space missions. It's on YouTube. So a little background. Do we have anyone else in the audience tonight wants to ask a question? How are we doing on radio chat?
So RC compiled a bunch of questions from the Discord. If maybe we can just fill some live air with that too.
Yeah, that sounds good. Let's get them going.
Jacob, you gonna pull those up?
Are they in the studio moderators? I know
While we're putting that together, Charlie, question for the team. You guys are assembling a bunch of stuff. You shipped stuff back in June to Hamburg. There's been a lot of assembly and rebuilding of sculptures. The question that's always on the back of everybody's mind, where does the Lem and the Winnebago, where do they live? And what sort of repairs and fixes do you need to do when you get on site?
So the Lamb and some of those larger structures are held in a classified area in Norwich, Connecticut, and they get deployed for these space missions. And to get the Lem over to Hamburg, we had to fit it, cram it into a shipping container,
which required new
scars.
New scars.
All right, we're about to go into an elevator. Maybe I'll take the stairs.
Hey, I'm here too, guys. Sorry I'm a little late. Can you hear
what's
me?
up, Tom?
How's it going?
Yeah, we can hear.
Great.
Tom, we're talking space program. We got the flight commander, we have Commander Smith and Lieutenant Goche.
Oh,
and,
great.
Mission Control, Samantha Ratanarat, and now our flight director.
Wait, we got the rat on too, everybody?
Yeah, we got the full team here.
Oh,
we just wrapped at the museum. We're on the way home.
Excellent. Well, I'm so excited, and I don't know how many people from the community are coming, but Saturday is going to be a shit show. We just wrapped our first super successful demonstration of transubstantiation. Yeah, we've got work to do, but it is coming along. Don't you guys think it was amazing tonight? Oop. Can you hear me?
They might be lost in that elevator or stairs.
Okay. Yeah, so we just did we're doing rehearsals of all of our systems, and we're transubstantiating our cell phones into golden idols, and we are really on it. So I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, we might have some broken eggs, but you got to if you're going to make an omelet. So super excited.
Hey, radio check. Sorry, we lost you. We went in the elevator there for a second.
How do I make it louder? Because I'm having a hard time hearing you guys.
If you scroll up from the bottom of the screen, Tom, it'll give you like audio options. I'm not sure if you're on your AirPods or if you're trying to do speaker, but it'll give you a choice.
Well, he hit the wrong button.
Well.
So I found the document. Should I go ahead and ask a couple of these questions? Do you all?
Let go.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So from the Discord at Dingo that's a specific one. Okay. Wilhelm Tell asked, where does Freedom of 76 live now? And will it be the maiden rocket for the Shredder?
So Freedom of 76, Tom, was the rocket which we made in the spring when we were shooting the video. Currently on display at the studio. I think it's maybe a prime candidate for the Shredder. Spirit of 76. It's a little bit of like
an early prototype.
Yeah.
You know, in order to make sure these rockets would be successful, we had to do early testing of the rocket factory before we were ready to launch and deploy it. And that's an early prototype.
Next question.
Okay, awesome. So I got the next question. This one's from Mars Yard Overshoe. It's the 20-year anniversary of 9/11. Can you tell us about how that day impacted you and the work you created from that moment going forward?
Yeah, I had to stop myself.
Radio check. Tango Sierra, can you hear us?
Sierra. Hey, Tango Sierra, can you read us? I think Tom's maybe having some technical issues, but that's a good question. I think we should maybe come back to that.
Yeah, I would love for Tom to speak to that.
Yeah.
Let me go to the next one then. This one's pretty easy. Can you tell us more about how the partnership with Budweiser came about?
Yeah, Charlie and I can take that. I think, like all good things, the best partnerships and the best relationships are things that happen authentically from mutual interests. And in this situation, Budweiser saw that we were making Budweiser rockets and decided they had to have one. So I think that's the best way to start any kind of relationship or collaboration is from genuine interest. And shout out to the Budweiser crew out there. It's really cool that the official Budweiser is just as interested in this rocket as we are. I think it's really, really great that kind of like what might be considered the most common rocket has kind of become one of the most coveted ones.
Well, I think they were the first brand to interact with the Rocket Factory publicly, right?
Yeah, that's definitely a fact. They were the first. I think it kind of shows that there are a lot of people, a lot of brands who are starting to be interested in this space. And I think it's really, really rad and really cool that the Rocket Factory can serve as a template of how you do the space the right way. And we welcome anyone who wants to join the community to do so. And I think Budweiser is doing it in a really cool way.
Awesome, great answer. Real quick before we go to another one, are there any from the audience that have questions?
Yeah, raise your hands, guys, if you have any questions.
Or drop them in the radio chat, and the mods and all of us are monitoring that as well.
I just saw Cool Cat had a follow-up on the butt question. They were asking any other branch reach out about their branch rockets.
Stay tuned. There are definitely people who've taken notice, and we welcome all of you out there who've taken notice and reached out to get involved the way that Budweiser has. I think there's no better way to get involved than to be one of us, to be in the Rocket League. So stay tuned on that one. That was a good follow-up, Cool Cat.
What you got, Jakey?
Okay, yeah, so I'm sorry, I was reading the radio chat. Someone wants to wait to ask theirs until Tom has his audio issue settled. So I'll go to the next one. This one is from our Skippy representative at Hummer. Is there any chance of an it won't fail? Oh yeah, okay. Is there any chance of it won't fail because of me shirts being produced in a black short sleeve blank edition?
I mean, we love to hear input from the community. So noted, Hummer. Can't say we've done it yet. We'll definitely take it to the official t-shirt design committee. T-shirts to us are kind of the best way to have a billboard or get your propaganda out in the world. So love hearing the suggestions on how we can always make them better.
No hands from the audience. Keep going, Jiggy.
All right, next one. This is actually a really cool one that I'm also very invested in. Is there any info on how the Rocket Factory will participate at the NFT New York City? Specific events or lectures, maybe?
Well, it's on our home turf. So we are super excited about that week. We're super excited about the community coming to our home base. And we have got a lot of fun things planned for all of you who are going to be in town and attending. And soon as we wrap up the space program mission. But we're already in conversations with a lot of people in the community and actively making plans to be a part of what will be a really epic week. And we're definitely having rocket launches that week.
Awesome. And if I forgot to mention, that was Cool Cat's question. Can any of the other mods see the hand raises? Because I can't, and I'm seeing that Tom's is in here, but I don't see Greg's.
No hands raised.
Oh, I see. Okay, I can see.
Yeah, I'm trying to bring Tom up here. Charlie's actively troubleshooting Tom's
Okay.
audio with him.
Greg, can you raise your hand again, maybe? Oh yeah. Okay, I can see Greg.
Maybe also good to, so we started sort of collecting these questions specifically for people who couldn't make it, just to get their questions asked, but anyone should be able to sort of raise their hand and come up. We really want sort of to hear from people.
So I see that Greg's hand is raised, and I see that there's an invite sent. And
Hey
Tom's...
Jake, we'll give him a second. It looks like Black Sheep's here. Black Sheep, you want to ask a question?
Yeah. If we are, say, I live right near San Francisco, and I want to take my kids to see the launch. Is it limited to a certain amount of rockets on launch, or you try and fit everybody in who lives close by?
Oh, rocket launches are open and welcome to all. So especially anyone who's a rocket holder, we are going to make sure that you are a part of any launch that you want to attend, regardless of whether or not your rocket is scheduled to launch. I hope that answers your question.
Well, just following up, say, like, for example, it's hard for me to get to other areas. I definitely want to be there for the launch. Do you give preference if somebody lives right near San Francisco, giving them a San Francisco launch spot if they apply in time?
Oh, I see what you're saying. That's a little bit more difficult. I'm gonna take that. I'll take that into internal consideration. I know that it's a little difficult, kind of just with how scheduling works, and because we're really want to make sure we we let people keep their locations confidential, because I know that's really important to a lot of people. We really have no way of tracking where somebody's scheduling a launch from. So just kind of how we're set up on that end from a privacy standpoint, I think this request might be a little bit hard. But we'll always try to do our best.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Hey, Aaron, can I add really quickly? I would suggest to stay active on the Discord, and when launch windows open up, you just make sure that you're vocal. And I think that the community is welcoming enough that we would, try to accommodate you as best as we can as a community. Like if there's 10 slots and we know that you're there and we know that you want to bring your kids, like I think that the folks on Discord are going to try to help you launch your rocket, because it's a fun experience.
Yeah, I'm on there. It's all a super group. It's like family. I love it. Thank you.
Nice, man.
Yeah, I think that was a really, really, really great follow-up, Aaron. And I think, a good shout out to that is the NYC launch on Governor's Island. You all really spoke up for Skippy getting to have a launch and Hummer represented. So like Aaron said, when the community's behind you, anything's possible.
Greg, you had a question?
Yeah. Can y'all hear me?
Affirmative.
Check, check. All right. My question, I put it in the radio chat earlier too, but one of the things I really liked a lot about the wear testing program was all the required reading and viewing. And I was wondering if there might be a list that comes out of some required viewing or recommended listening or reading that we can enrich our Rocket Factory experience with?
I mean, I would say anything that is a part of ISRU really, because all of the stuff in the work that the studio does.
Can you hear
comes
me?
from.
Hey,
Yay!
we hear you.
Look who
What's
it
up?
is.
Do I have to yell like this?
No. you
No.
don't.
Can you hear
Try
me
not.
like this?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Sorry, guys, and thank you for being so patient. Fuck. You want me to tell you about 9/11?
Yeah, let's. Yeah, we can work backwards to that. We were in the middle of this question here
Yeah.
from Greg. Maybe we wrap that up, Tom.
Yeah.
Then we can
I'm
let.
sorry to. Okay, talk to me. What's going on?
So Greg's question was, he really loved that during ISRU we had required readings and viewings, and he wondered if there was anything or like that around the Rocket Factory that could enrich the experience for him and the community.
You read all the required. Do you read all the required readings already?
I've read probably 75-80%, so I'm still working through them.
So yeah. So what's left?
So I have I need my list. I should have had my list ready.
Well, but it's not a quiz. But here, let me tell you what you don't have to answer if you don't remember. But I guess what's important to remember about the Rocket Factory and why we're talking a little bit about the space program is because it's all integrated. Like this Rocket Factory is an art project, just like everything else we make. It might be your favorite, and certainly mine right now, but it's not the best and it's not the worst. It's all just part of a larger world. So all the books that we recommended are still part of this. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So like there's no like specific, I mean, okay, if you want to learn about like Apollo, I can recommend a book that's probably not part of the required reading list usually, like read Andrew Chaikin's book. That's the best book. It's the only Penguin classic about or Penguin book about the space program. It's perfect. Avoid Everything by Praxis. That's the worst publisher who publishes on all the great subjects. But I don't know. I think if you really want to understand this project, I'd also read Alexis de Tocqueville's Democracy in America, which is like a critique of consumer culture from a couple hundred years ago, and the things that he discovered 200 years ago are as true today as they were then. So that would be my recommendation.
I love it. All right. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, of course.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for the question, Greg.
Yeah.
9/11, Tom.
Is that
Let's
Aaron's
go.
voice?
Tom, that's me.
Dude, it's so great to hear your voice, man. Are you coming here?
Fuck yeah, man! I'm gonna be there on Friday. We're partying,
God.
bruh.
I'm so super psyched. Do you know Tommaso Rivellini's coming today?
Oh shit!
But
It's
he
going
probably won't.
down.
I know. It's like the full crew, the full ISRU crew is coming. I'm super psyched, and we are trying to make it to see you in Portland, and we got to make time with AC to come and see what you're working on.
Absolutely.
That's because I remember we had the conversation about the airbags and stuff, but now that we have like a more meaningful connection, I'm always curious about linking it in, right? Like finding a way.
Sympathetic magic, you know it.
Yeah, dude, you have you got it. You really have it. Amazing, Aaron.
Hey, before we get too far, Tom, like this past weekend.
Wait, Tom, before
20th anniversary.
Cut you off, Aaron. Tom, we're up here with all the new mods.
Wait, Aaron is one of.
Yeah, Aaron's
great.
up here as all. We got all the mods on the stage right now.
Oh, great. Okay, so I'm gonna screen grab this so I can see all you guys. So nice to meet all of you, and I've met some of you and others I'm gonna meet. So, I kind of want to, Aaron, I want to geek out with you about sympathetic magic and stuff. But I also want to meet all the mods. So,
Hamburg.
Yeah, are you guys?
Yeah, Tom, totally. we're so excited to have all of them on board, and they're
Yeah.
going to be joining each of our weekly AMAs. And they've been, I think we were having some radio issues with you earlier, but they've been collecting the questions from the community and kind of being the ones who help lead this AMA with us. So the
Yeah.
questions that Aaron and the rest are going to ask are things that they've compiled from the radio chat and from the community.
Cool. Great. Well, I'm so psyched to have you guys on board and being part of this. I know that, like, I've been thinking so much about this community and the demands of the community, and that you're there keeping things flowing in a creative direction that's like focused on the project but still allows new information in and keeps everyone stoked about it is huge. And I've been learning so much about the speed of connectivity and expectation of the internet. I think ideally there'd be some new feature we'd launch every 4 days, but I realize that that's not who we are. We're like in this for the long haul. When when Ethereum goes to $10,000 an ETH, or when it drops down to $1 an ETH, doesn't change what we do. It's really all about people and community and doing the projects, and like money comes and money goes, and what matters is the work that you do. And I think that community work is very, very important, and I really have huge appreciation for your dedication to this project and to this space, because I've met so many awesome people. We met Panther Man and William Tell earlier. Wait, what was that? Like earlier at the end of last week and Friday, and it was just so cool to put a person to a bunch of names or a bunch of pixels, and so that's what you guys are doing. I really, really appreciate it. So thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off earlier, Aaron. I think you were on the track to ask a good question for Tom.
Yeah, Tom, 20 years ago, you were at 245 Center Street at 8:47 in the morning. Can you just tell us about how 9/11 shaped your life?
Yeah, actually, I was in the East Village at my girlfriend's apartment, and I'd been out the night before with another friend, and we're eating at a Japanese restaurant, and we were talking about how an airplane flew once into the Empire State Building, and they found an engine in the basement, like it smashed into the building, and the airplane disintegrated and fell down because it was such a strong structure. Anyway, my girlfriend, who is an architect, and I was doing more architecture stuff then, woke me up, and she was screaming, and we went outside on the roof and saw one building on fire, and another plane hit the second building, and then we watched them come crumbling down, and I didn't really know what to do, and I was kind of hungover, and saw people screaming from the rooftops, and I walked to the studio, which is a few blocks south, very close to 9/11, actually, like not very close, but like, I don't know, much closer. We're on Grand Street and World Trade Center just south of Chambers Street, and I saw these throngs of people marching north against me, all covered in soot. And I went to the studio, and everyone from the studio showed up at work at 10 o'clock, and were really confused, but it was just like a normal. Was it a Tuesday? Is that what you said? And they didn't know what to do, and there were four boys, Alec Crossley and Van and Casey Neistat, and they were all super pissed off, and were going to Times Square to enlist to go fight in, I don't even know, it should have been Saudi Arabia, but it later became Afghanistan, but then I think it was called Iraq. I think Iraq War One was like the excuse that the Bush administration, I guess 9/11 was the excuse that they used to invade Iraq for some other reasons. That's all like completely boggling to me. Anyway, long story short, I talked to the boys and I said, you're absolutely not allowed to enlist and join the Marine Corps, although I'm sure you'd be really good cannon fodder. We're going to put on our construction helmets and our vests and bring the oxyacetylene tank down to 9/11. We're going to dig out bodies and cut beams and do what we can because we've got tools and we're strong and we're young and we're going to help deal with this. Spend the day thinking about how some people could do this to us, to our community. And we're going to spend the day talking about it while we're working. And we got down there and we kind of tried to help out, but there was like nothing going on. I mean, the city was so organized, and emergency crews from all over the country somehow got there before us, even though we were right there. It was just very swift organization of nothing. I mean, it was just death. And I guess the thing that really struck me, and the reason why I built a large model of it, because I've always been interested in architecture, and particularly architectural models, was because this building meant something to me personally. I had a real connection with it. Minoru Yamazaki, who's the architect, who's one of Le Corbusier's greatest disciples, actually, in my view, kind of a second-rater. His other most famous building was the Pruitt Ego housing development in St. Louis that was blown up. That was also destroyed and had the same kind of stacked implosion destruction method, only like 8 years after it was built, because it was built so terribly that it created all these crime situations. The story of Pruitt Ego is featured as a cautionary tale about how not to build housing projects. He's built a lot of universities and hospitals, and prolific builder, but without humanity. I mean, the guy was a big advocate of two-story buildings and keeping people close to the earth, but then what he actually built were giant skyscrapers. But I guess like the thing that really got me about the World Trade Center was its hubris, it's American hubris to say, hey, this is the center of world trade. And I think that's why it was a target. It almost like begged for it. Yet on the other side, it was this terrible thing that like decimated some communities that I'm very close to, and like Rockaway, for example. So like, yeah, you can blow up the World Trade Center because you hate what America stands for, but you're just killing these like kind of innocent people that are working there. And so like the whole thing is filled with conflict and confusion for me. I mean, I think that the people that did this were I don't know, but I've heard lots of stories about them feeling mistreated. And if you feel mistreated long enough, I mean, what is Martin Luther King say? Right is the voice of the unheard. And so I can never justify something like that, but I think like Noam Chomsky would say something like in his book, 9/11, did it have to happen? I think he would sort of break down all the things that led up to this, including all kinds of neoliberal imperialism all over the world, that alienated and led to people being disenfranchised to the point where they felt they had nothing left to lose. But it was my apocalypse. It was the one that happened in my backyard. So I still say never forgive, but that's complicated too. So I probably talked way too much. Aaron, am I in trouble? Am I canceled yet?
All good, Tom. It's really great for you to share the story.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone has their experience of it. We all watched it, and everyone's story is their own. That's fine.
Thank you, Tom.
Yeah.
We have another audience member. would you like to ask your question?
Yeah. Hi.
Hey, what's up?
Thanks for the question, Marcia. Of the show. It was really great to hear that from Tom. Hi, Tom. I'm Andrew.
Hey, what's in your mind?
Yeah, I've wrote the script, so I'm gonna read my question. I'm from Poland. One of my favorite Polish writers is Stanisław Lem, known for his scientific thinking and deep affection to space. His book Solaris was the basis for Andrei Tarkovsky's film with the same title. It tells the story of an ocean that gained consciousness and how humankind makes that discovery. I'm curious about if you know of him, if you by any chance have read one of his books. I think his way of thinking might be very much compatible with yours, and hopefully he will inspire you as he inspired me. So yeah, I was just curious about that.
You know, I haven't, but I'm on a sci-fi reading thing right now, as any good crypto nerd is. You have to read as much sci-fi as you can cram into one lifetime, and I'm gonna read that. I'm at least gonna open it and start it because I'm reading Andy Weir's Project Hail Mary, which I cannot fully recommend yet. I mean, The Martian required reading. That's, by the way, that's the new book on required reading is The Martian. But I love Solaris. I mean, Tarkovsky is my second favorite film director, and I love the movie. So I haven't seen it in a while. I mean, I haven't seen it in over 20 years. I think I'm due for rewatching, but I think I'd like to read the book.
Yeah, I really recommend for everyone listening to read the book first, because the movie, it makes much more sense after you read the book, and the book does what the book does to your brain is just amazing, and seeing these landscapes in your head is really worth your while. And actually, Tom, I've bought one example for you, and I wanted to give you at the exhibition, if that's possible.
In English or in Polish?
Yeah, in English, of course.
Oh, great! I would love that. That would be an honor. I would love that. That's super
Oh,
cool.
great.
So,
That's really nice to hear.
Yeah, yeah. And Tarkovsky's the man. So
Yeah,
I think he's one of our chairs. Is Tarkovsky?
Lem is the man too, and really fun fact: his 100th birthday anniversary is in September this year, and actually it was yesterday.
Okay, well, happy birthday, Stanislav Lem, and I look forward to reading the book. And I'm embarrassed I haven't, because it's world famous, and I'm sure it's better. The book's always better. The book is always better. So, and yeah, and don't watch the remake of Solaris. The remake's almost never better.
Yes,
even worse. Even worse.
Yes, I agree.
But Tarkovsky's great. It's worth the work. Thanks for your question and statement. I really appreciate it, man. Very, very kind.
Thank you, Tim, and all of you. I see you on Friday evening before the exhibition and during the exhibition too.
Excellent.
Hamburg.
Excellent.
Thanks. Thanks. Nice talking to you. Bye.
Awesome.
I saw RBK was up here a second ago. Did you intend to leave the stage?
In the meanwhile, maybe I can. Oh, sorry.
Go for it.
Otherwise, in the meanwhile, I can ask a quick question. Tom, I heard that the first 7 rockets had predetermined names, and I was super curious to hear what the link was between Chris Burden and Miami Vice. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Well, that's not. I'm happy to tell you, but that it's not that they exactly had predetermined names. It's just that I made all the names, and I made like in this project, I'm very interested in permutations and all permutations being effectively equal. Like, sure that there are your favorites, but when we picked all the brands and all the colors, I made sure and I obsessed. And you can ask anyone in the studio and any of my friends. I obsessed literally for months, making sure that you could not make a bad color combination. And then when I did the names, I did sort of the same thing, and that was even harder, which was to make 1,000 names that would work no matter what the rocket combination was, so that it would always just work. And the names, as you know or may not know, are randomly generated. I wrote them all, but then they're randomly generated and inserted, and then they're assigned sequentially. In other words, like the first one to assign the first rocket got, I don't remember what it was, but it wasn't like I put those 1,000 names in order. It's just the way that they were assembled. So it's random. But there is one thing that I've learned from LSD is that any two things in the world are connected by a third. So Miami Vice and is it Through the Night Softly? Is that the title of it?
Yeah, that's it.
So I don't know if you know so I'll just, if you probably know, but maybe the audience doesn't, so I'll explain that Through the Night Softly is a performance art piece done by an artist, Chris Burden, who is really one of my like conceptual parents, one of the people that really like made me who I am today. His art was extremely influential. I had the privilege of getting to know Chris a little bit when he was alive, and had dinner with him a few times and talked about our shared interests in all kinds of things. And Through the Night Softly was a piece where he crawled in his underwear across the road that was littered with glass as a like endurance piece. And I'm very interested in endurance art as part of what I do sometimes. Certainly this piece is an endurance piece. Building 1,000 rockets hand painted and launching them all over the world is definitely an endurance work of art. So I only named one piece after Chris Burden piece, but he always had great titles. So it was really poetic. And then, yeah, where's that street? I don't know. Maybe it's in Miami, and maybe Sonny Crockett's driving his Ferrari Monoposto in cocaine white, beige interior down the road while Chris Burton's crawling across it. Like in my mind, that's when I put those two things together, you get those two images, and like that's the 1 + 1 = 1,000,000 I'm talking about.
But thank you.
You're welcome. That was a pretty good spin, right, guys? That's like, I'll be honest with you. Like, I don't always know. I don't have the answer in advance, but I always know there's a connection between any two things, and I think that's like the power and beauty of art is that it can do that. It can provoke that, and it's like I'm not like some genius that puts it together. I mean, to me, it's very transparent. But
Yeah. Seeing
finding
all of
that,
those names pop up, Tom, like including like the Miami Vice, Chris Burton one, like when we
Yeah.
started rocket minting, it was
Yeah.
amazing watching what all of these rockets were being named and like seeing which name got on which rocket. It was incredible. Some of them were just like too good to be true.
well, like, what about yours? The rocket that you minted?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I mean,
Do you want to tell people what? Huh?
What did you mint, Charlie?
I minted my dream rocket through the whole development of the project, and it was a self-portrait. It's got a McDonald's nose and a Marlboro body and a Budweiser tail, and I was very fortunate and lucky to get a Bob Marley's Last Words as the title, which is Money Can't Buy Time.
The perfect portrait of Charlie in every way down to the name.
If
So-
only there was a NASCAR sticker.
I know it feels very NASCAR
That's
as
where
a rocket,
that's
and
where
then
you-
I don't know, it's got all the angles covered.
That's where Charlie would land it.
Yep.
You know, we've thought, and maybe the community wants to do this, but more people should put together what their rocket is as far as a portrait, or where would be its mission and where would it land, because I know we've had so much fun thinking up those scenarios about the perfect rockets, about the Franken rockets, about the stickers. And I think that kind of storytelling is, like Tom said, that's what art's all about.
Yeah. It was amazing. Thanks, Tom, for the self-portrait.
Yeah, I feel very lucky about that. I mean, these are all titles and brands and images and combinations that I want. Like I want them all. Like I want every permutation. That was my whole thing about CryptoPunks. Like when I discovered I didn't really want a punk. I just wanted all of them. And in a sense, like that's what's great about the art is that you can kind of have, you know, using the sorting tools, you can kind of have them all. You know, you can sort of possess them. You can look at them, and you know, they're for everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, ownership's like another tricky thing, but it's the information's out there. Like you can't really own Chris Burden crawling across like La Cienega Boulevard in glass. Like you can't own that. Yeah, maybe you could have been there, or maybe you could like buy some black and white photograph of it that he signed or something, or a book. But it's an experience.
Yeah,
Charlie,
one of my favorite parts, Tom, when we were like developing this was like getting to play with, you know, some of the functionality that we were building, and being able to have the ability to keep playing with all the rocket combinations on the site and everything. It felt like a video game. It was so much fun.
Yeah. It's still fun, and man, I cannot wait for the next phase in terms of play. Oh man,
yeah.
And I think that's been the most powerful part of this project is developing it and realizing that we were going to hand all that control. We were going to set some guidelines, but then we were going to hand all that control over to the community. And you all are deciding what rockets come to life and what rockets will do in future phases. And I think that's like kind of like the coolest part in all of this, that you know there have been projects with really cool and interesting combinations, and people are lucky enough to get to claim one of those combinations. But here it's like a level up. It's not only that there's all of these potential combinations that you can claim, but you get to create them. And I think that's really cool.
yeah, I do too, man. I think that's the funnest part of this. I mean, yeah, I'm not allowed to say any more until we release the info on it. But stay tuned.